And we are back with the Somewhere Else Live related in just a little bit, because I'm sure you guys were wondering where the heck I was on Saturday, what you're supposed to do to occupy your time doing a live stream. I know it can be a little bit difficult, and it's just one of those things. So, I hope you guys found something to do on Saturday that was fun. Maybe not as fun as this, but that's just one of those things. I hope you did. Hope you guys had a good weekend and all of that good stuff. So, like I said, I'll explain why I pushed the live stream to today in a little bit, but I'm happy to be here now, and I'm going to be today focusing on songs from my album Somewhere Else. I wrote somewhere around September of 2017, and it's one of those albums that it turned out to be really dark, and this is one of those things that, like, I would kind of tell people, I'm like, nah, I'm over it. The breakup, falling out, whatever you want to call it, that happened. And then I wrote a couple of songs, and I was just like, oh no, there's still some anger that I can channel. But it was also really important, this album, for me, because there are a couple of songs on there that I'll play in a little bit, that just struck me as being really funny, even though it was kind of in a, dark type of way. It took, a year and a half to get there. And so, this is Somewhere Else, and that video series, that, album that we are celebrating today. And, on the topic of dark but funny songs, this first song is one called Put Your Money Where Your Ass Is, and I hope you enjoy it. Now I work hard, mama, to keep you satisfied. I'm a woman fine. You ain't out with another guy. Don't just come waltzing in here with that innocent little smile. Put your money where your ass is. You've been talking out of there for a while. You are such a bad investment, got a dreadful return. Never garnered any except the money I earned. Don't tell me I never gave you what you wanted. I ain't the one who's on trial. Put your money where your ass is. You've been there for a while. Now as I go to take money out of the ATM, I see insufficient funds on the screen again. Oh, baby, 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 you just go ahead and live your whole life in denial. But put your money where your ass is. You've been talking out of there for a while. Put your money where your ass is. You've been talking walking out of there for a while. Alright, and that was Put Your Money Where Your Ass Is. I can't remember if it was that song. That was probably one of them. But at some point my dad was looking over some of my lyrics, just not even the lyrics, but he was just like helping me with formatting and stuff so that I could get them into one concise document. And he read the title of, I think it was that song, Money Where Your Ass Is. And he just looked at me and he goes, "Man, were you a little angry, or what was the deal there?" And that's exactly what it was. I found some anger that was still there, but mainly I just thought that was a really humorous title. And the funny thing, shout out to my mom who's watching, the funny thing is I remember playing that at Ernestine and Hazel's at an open mic night when my parents came down to visit. And, like, not the most family-friendly song in the world, but my parents afterwards said, "Man, when you sing the blues, you really can channel some of that anger. That's great." And so it was one of those things where I was just like, "Phew, all right, cool." That's just one of those things. And plus, it's one of those songs that, like, that's such an over-the-top funny title and hook that, like, you can't really be mad. So I actually was walking in downtown today, walking in Memphis, if you will, and I know most of you will. But I ended up walking by this area where my ex ended up staying when she was in Memphis, because they had a family friend and whatever. And one of the streets in that, like, little strip of gated community is called Toulouse. And I couldn't remember it, and then I passed it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Toulouse." And I realized how fitting a title that was, or a name that was, for a street of an ex of mine was Toulouse. But that just I don't know, that just struck me as being funny. And will probably turn into a song at some now that I have that in my head. Shout out to Dara Bigger, and potentially David as well for tuning in. I appreciate you guys for taking the time out on this Labor Day for this Somewhere Else live stream. We are going to move on, and this next song on the topic of cynical breakup songs was one that was actually inspired by a meme that I saw online, and it said, like, it's really fascinating how people sleep. It said, like, some people sleep on their sides, some on their back. My ex sleeps with everyone, things like that. And I thought that is a song. Like, that is song quality meme material or whatever. And so I turned it into a song, and it was inspired by Selah by Fountains of Wayne, and I hope you enjoy both of them. Some folks sleep on their backs, some can sleep through bear attacks, some can only sleep on mattresses, and some can sleep on sacks. Some folks could sleep for hours, even if it's on the Caracas airport ground. The other folks, such as yourself, sleep better when they can sleep around. Some folks sleep when it's loud, some like sleeping on a cloud. Some folks really swear by Sealy, insist I should get one now. Some folks sleep for hours, gain their powers, and when they wake up, nothing can bring them down. Other folks, such as yourself, sleep better when they can sleep around. From your landlord's accord, a new man each night is you snore. You kill the lights, it feels right, then in the morning you are sore. Don't you go pretending the cycle's ending. I see your bed sheets bending, then in the morning you're on to the next. You never let it rest. Now the birds and the bees are all whistling through the trees as you uncover your new lover. Tell him to get going, please. Some folks sleep alone while others love to love the life partners they have found. The others, such as yourself, sleep better when they can sleep around. The other folks, such as yourself, sleep better when they can sleep around. There's a train on a track, painted silver, blue, and black, heading to Massachusetts, and then it's coming back. And it's entertaining by New Haven once you found yourself a drink or two. Straight to hell on the sailor, tell me, baby, where the hell are you? The sailor. There's a girl on the train, leaning on a window pane, reading People magazine just to help turn off their brain. And I swore I caught her staring at me. Maybe I've been staring at her too. Ooh. Shot to me a sailor just as well. There's nothing else to do. When they called all aboard, you were nowhere to be found. Though you swore you were sure you'd come with me out of town. And I looked in all the stores, I looked in notes and news, but you had not left any clues. Searched for any sign of you, I was so confused. What was I supposed to do? The world is a blur as the engine starts to purr, and we're flying through Rhode Island. The conductor calls me sir. For your information, it's our station at about 11:22. Got to get the next sailor, got to find my way back home to you. Got to catch the next sailor, got to find my way back home to you. Alright, and that was Sleep, paired with a sailor, the second of which was by Fountains of Wayne. I just want to say really quick, I've been writing some songs recently that have been inspired by Steely Dan. And when you, or when at least when I talk about artists that have really cynical lyrics, like pretty consistently, I think of Steely Dan and I think of Fountains of Wayne. And they are pictured right up here. That is them. And I know I mentioned this multiple times, but in April we lost Adam Schlesinger, the lead singer and bass player for Fountains of Wayne. And there is just something so unique about that band. And, you know, even though a lot of their early stuff you could tell, you know, they kind of grew up in the same era as Weezer and, you know, were experimenting with that. Kind of the power pop type deal that they ended up morphing into was a little bit later, but they just had, you know, a lot of rock elements and whatever. But, you know, Adam was just a real musician, a really good songwriter, and was working on a bunch of stuff that I hope we hear, even though he's gone. Then there's that guy on his motorcycle. That's just lovely. But this next song is a little more explicitly angry, and this is a song called "In Your Pocket," and coincidentally, it was inspired by the song "In Your Pocket" by Maroon 5, and so I'm going to play both of those songs. Maybe next week I'll do the live stream from a motorcycle, and just, you know, keep it running so that you guys can continue to enjoy that. But this pocket, and also In Your Pocket. Swear you don't have trust issues, why'd you leave scar tissue? What are you doing to me? Why do you walk straight through me? You'll never find another who's shelter when you need cover, yeah. You say you found a new lover and say I'm expendable. You better have found the perfect man to justify turning me down. Who could love you more than the guy you did not want around? Who's in your pocket tonight? Who's in your pocket tonight? You can strip it all you down you want. You can strip it down all you want. There's nothing to hide. He'll love you for your body, but not what's inside. Who's in your pocket tonight? Who's in your pocket tonight? So where you gonna run to? A man who truly wants you in the end, you wind up blue, you wind up blue. And you pretend it's what you wanted, you ignore your past, although it's on it. The more you try to flaunt it, I know it's not with you at all. You'd better have found a perfect man to justify turning me down. Who could love you more than the guy you did not want around? Who's in your pocket tonight? Who's in your pocket tonight? You can strip it down all you want. There's nothing to hide. He'll love you for your body, but not what's inside. Who's in your pocket tonight? Who's in your pocket tonight? Where we were when you came up in July turned out to me a drawn out lie. Now if I were to look around, I'm sure I could not stand your sound. better have found a money man to justify turning me down. Who could love you more than the guy you did not wanna run? Who's in your pocket tonight? Who's in your pocket tonight? You can strip it down all you want, there's nothing to hide. You love you for your body, but now what's inside? Who's in your pocket tonight? Who's in your pocket tonight? Say what you mad at me for, yeah, why you talk that evil, yeah. That's not the way you show love, no love, no love, no, no. Say what you're crying to me for, try to control your ego, yeah. That's not the way you show love, no love, no love, no. 'Cause I got all the things I wanna say, but nothing's coming out. And all the times I came to you, I never ever lied. Show me that moan in your mind, girl. Show me that moan in your mind, girl. So wait, you think that I don't know what this is really all about? It should be really easy when you got nothing to hide. Show me that moan in your mind, girl. Show me that moan in your mind, yeah. So what you spying on me for, Tell me what you're looking for, yeah. This shit you're saying is so low, no love, no love, no. But tell me, where do you go, when you need time alone, alone? You really think I don't know, I know. 'Cause I got all the things I wanna say, but nothing's coming out. And all the times I came to you, I never ever lied. Show me that moan in your mind, yeah, girl. Show me that moan in your mind, yeah, girl. So where do you think that I don't know what this is really all about? It should be really easy if you got nothing to hide. Show me that moan in your mind, yeah, girl. Show me that moan in your mind, yeah. Show me yours, I'll show you mine. Now I'll show you mine. Show me yours, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Show me yours, you mine. I'll show you mine. Show me yours, I'll show you mine. I can't believe you looked me in the eye and said to me you had nothing to hide, yeah. Now you're dead to me, this really is goodbye, goodbye. 'Cause I got all the things I wanna say, but nothing's coming out. And all the times I came to you, I never ever lied. Show me that moan in your pocket, girl. Show me that moan in your mind, yeah. So wait, you think that I don't know what this is really all about? It should be really easy if you got nothing to hide. Show me that moan in your pocket, girl. Show me that moan in your pocket. Show me yours, I'll show you mine. Now I'll show you mine. Show me yours, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Show me yours, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Show me that moan in your pocket. Alright, and that was In Your Pocket by both myself and Maroon 5. We're basically one and the same, I like to think. But shout out to my friend Merritt Coke for watching. I appreciate you. Merritt is an awesome singer-songwriter in Memphis, and she can act like nobody's business as well. Doing stuff through or at least for a while, she was doing stuff through the Tennessee Shakespeare Company. And that is awesome. Great person to have around in Memphis. Cool. And I appreciate it has tuned in. So, Next song that I'm going to do is a song called Without Me. And it's kind of funny because for a long time, I really just wanted to write a song called Without You, and have it be a love song. And stuff happened. And it ended up being, I can, instead of I can't live without you, it's you can't live without me. And it took a while for me to get there. So before you come at me and say like, oh, well, that seems a little arrogant. You're correct. I'm an arrogant guy, but, it took a while for me to be like, no, that is not right the way you treat me. And, I did a lot for you and, don't necessarily feel entitled, but, it's just weird that you would say that you don't love me and whatever, like, after that. If there were worse data, then, we could maybe have a discussion. Lee Johnson, shout out, one of my former coworkers. Very good to have you tuning in. This is with me, and I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, I wish that I could tell you all the many ways I'm mad for what you have done. You'll never understand what it's like to build your life around someone. The next man in your bed will not love you. Instead, he'll treat you like you don't matter. Yet you'll take a vow the only way you know how, and you'll swear he loves you better. You dream of more, what more could I have given? Wish that truth was stronger than friction. That's not the norm, that's what you decided. Your priorities are so misguided. Without me, you'd be nowhere. Without me, you'd be nowhere. I might be crazy, but didn't you say you loved me half a year before the fall? I think at this point the man you deserve is one who don't love you at all. The next man in your bed will not love you. Instead, if like you don't matter, yet you'll take a vow the only way you know how, and you'll swear he loves you. You dream of more, what more could I have given? Wish that truth was stronger than friction. That's the norm, but not what you decided. Your priorities are so misguided. Without me, you'd be nowhere. Without me, you'd be nowhere. You dream of more, what more could I have given? Wish that truth was stronger than friction. That's the norm, but not what you decided. Your priorities are so misguided. Without me, you'd be nowhere. Without me, you'd be nowhere. All right, and that was Without Me. So just some background on the person who these songs are about. The that line didn't necessarily come out of nowhere. It wasn't just like hey, trying to pick you up at the bar and you say no, so my ego gets bruised. Um, a year and a half of kind of will we or won't we. And the second half of that was her bringing stuff up and saying like, hey, if you want to date, I'm still interested in that and whatever. And it just made a lot of sense because we were really close when we were in Spain together. And, I did a lot for her. She did a lot for me. It was very mutually beneficial. And so that was one of those things that, like I said, everything about it seemed to make sense. And then when it didn't to her, there was no explanation as to why. It was just like, yeah, not feeling it anymore. Again, the line, love is a choice. And if I were going to love you, what would I now? And so a lot of sadness, a lot of anger, and still sorting through it to an extent because that was a really terrible thing to say. And what she didn't know is that I'm going to be talking about that for years to come in the songs. So that's good. I'm now on album 91 actually, and not all of them are about her. There are only about 30 some that are about her, which is still significant. That's like a third. But it's one of those things that, like, once you hear the whole story, then you realize why I'm so bitter and why all of that has to happen. So speaking of bitterness, this is the reason why I'm doing this live stream today. So a former student of mine, her birthday is today. Shout out to you, Dakota. She actually wasn't even one of my students, but she observed in one of my classes for her like teacher cadet class, so became part of the third period family and all of that, and so she at some point just comes up to me in the hallway and she just goes, do you really have a song called Possum Dumplings? And I said, yeah, I do. And so she listened to it, and it was just like, this is incredible, and said, I want you to play this song at my wedding. And it's a breakup song, as you may have gleaned, but she just thinks it's the greatest, and so I can get and I've told this story a million times, but basically how this went down was my friend Amber is about as country as you can get, and she was out in her backyard at some point, and she said, like, she's telling the story, and she said, so I was in my backyard the other morning and came across a big old pile of possum dumplings, and I was like, I don't know what you mean by that, but Possum Dumplings, in my interpretation, is going to be a song by tomorrow. She knows me well enough to know that, like, if I say I'm going to write a song by tomorrow, I will do it. The ones that are, in those conversations, they don't always turn out. This one in particular did. But anyway, like, what even rhymes with something, or with dumplings? And she said, the only thing I think of is something. And I said, that's good, I can work with that. And so that's how I came up with the hook. And then at the first part of the song, where it says, I ran with you, my Georgia girl, all the way to the ends of the earth, or the end of the earth, whatever. We'll see what I feel like saying. But anyway, the day that I wrote that song, I just happened to come across a picture of my ex and me at the end of the earth in Portugal, before they realized, or before the white people realized that the world was round, and the white conquistadors, I should say, as the white scientists did. But anyway, before they knew that, they thought that this spot in Portugal was the end of the earth, that you would like fall off the edge of the earth. And so we went, and and this person and I got our picture taken at the end of the earth. And so I came across a picture on Facebook, and I was like cool, I'm going to incorporate that in there. And the funny thing is, like, I started with a song in is Have You Forgotten on No Curtain Call. I started with that, where the way that I put it is I'm twisting people's words around, but really I'm not. I'm just quoting them verbatim with a little bit of creative control. But like the essence of what they say is pretty much there. And so that's essentially what Possum Dumplings is. It's saying, hey, you said this and didn't follow through, so now you got to do that. But anyway, so this is Possum Dumplings, and I hope you enjoy it. I ran with you, my Georgia girl, all the way to the end of the earth. We talked about starting a family, even talked about names at birth. Now all that is something you are trying to ignore. So go eat a pile of possum dumplings till you want to be something more. I followed you down to Georgia, but the week before I arrived, you told me that starting a family was something you felt inside. One night when you were lonely and started wondering what life was for. So go eat a pile of possum dumplings till you want to be something more. You held my hand as we walked down Main. Don't pretend like that didn't occur. Now I'm forced to listen to you as you say those awful words. I never loved you, never did. Our love was just mere folklore. So go eat a pile of possum dumplings till you want to be something more. So go eat a pile of possum dumplings till you want to be something more. Yeah, I knew a girl, Nikki, and I guess you'd say she was a sex fiend. I met her in a hotel lobby, masturbating with a magazine. She said, how'd you like to waste some time? And I could not resist when I saw little Nikki grind. She took me to a castle and I could not believe my eyes. She had so many devices, everything that money could buy. She said, sign your name on the dotted line. The lights went out and Nikki started to grind. Nikki! The castle started spinning, oh, maybe it was my brain. I can't tell you what she did to me, but my body will never be the same. Her loving will kick your behind. She'll show you no mercy. She'll show enough, show you how to grind. Darling Nikki. I woke up the next morning and Nikki wasn't there. I looked all over and all I found was a phone number on the stairs. It said, thank you for a funky time. Call me up whenever you wanna ride. Come back, Nikki. Your dirty little prince wants to grind, grind, grind. Alright, and that was Darling Nikki and Possum Dumplings, which was inspired by the Prince song Darling Nikki. The Prince song is if you hear that in isolation, it sounds like it's not really a love song, but just kind of like a weird like haze and whatever. But the funny thing is, it actually, in the context of Purple Rain, it's a breakup song, and so you know, he talks about or you know, sings about it, and all of that, and Apollonia Caro, her character in the movie had just left the kid, and so he like wrote that song after she ran off with Morris, and it leads to one of my favorite lines in the movie is when the security guard kicks him off stage, and he goes, "You leave your personal shit off my stage," and that's just always been a funny line to me for obvious reasons. Of course, my other favorite line in that movie is where Morris Day tells all the backup dancers, or the potential backup dancers, he says, "I don't think you people realize how valuable time is," and that line, I've never actually had the guts to use it, but there are definitely times where I've wanted to. So yeah, like I said, that was a really fun song to write, Possum Dumplings, and it's one of those songs that just surprises people, and the funny thing, I'll give you the insider information that it's really just an excuse for me to tell my ex to go eat shit, but like, it's vague enough, so if you hear Possum Dumplings, you're like, what does that mean? And it's like, I don't know, you tell me. So you can kind of leave it open to interpretation a little bit. But this next song is a song called Talking to Another. And it was inspired by the Rod Stewart song, Do You Think I'm Sexy? And I will say I feel badly about this, but a lot of these I'm, looking up lyrics on. Most of them I probably don't need them. It's just good to have them there just in case. But this one, Do You Think I'm Sexy? I know all the words to it, and I'm a little bit ashamed. Next will be the Pina Colada song, although I think I might already be there. But this is a song called Talking to Another, and I hope you enjoy it. Sugar so sweet every time that you kiss her. Catch her while you can, otherwise you will miss her. Magic in the air every time she's around me. Yet despite that, something still astounds me. On paper we're together, two birds of a feather. Yet me, 'cause whenever we go out, she's always talking to another, far away but close enough so I can see. Magic at midnight, but hell in the morning, sunny in the morning, sun up in the evening, it's storming. I'll just hold on, 'cause she touches me all over, but when we go out, she won't let me hold her. On paper we're together, two birds of a feather, yet you could have fooled me. 'Cause whenever we go out, she's always to another, close enough so I can see. She tells me she loves me, but I can tell I'm not the only man who does that job. I just cannot stand the cheating, yet she's the only one who makes my heart thrive. One more drink and she'll have enough to love me. Yes, at least I got something to buzz me. I'll just hold on for what I've been dreaming. Yet when she sees another man, she's always scheming. On paper we're together, two birds of a feather. Yet you could have fooled me, 'cause whenever we go out, she's always talking to another, far enough so I can see. On paper we're together, two birds of a feather. Yet you could have fooled me, 'cause whenever we go out, she's always talking to another, far away but close enough so I can see. She sits alone, waiting for suggestions. He's acting nervous, avoiding all the questions. Outside it's cold. Maybe I don't know the lyrics. Let's start that over. She sits alone, waiting for suggestions. He's acting nervous, avoiding all the questions. His lips are dry, his heart is gently pounding. Don't you just know exactly what they're thinking? If you want mine and you think I'm sexy, come on honey, let me know. If you really need me, just reach out and touch me. Come on sugar, tell me so now darling. He sits alone, looking for an answer. Come on, honey, let's spend the night together. Now hold on a minute, before we go much further. Give me a dime so I can phone my mother. They catch a cab to his high-rise apartment. At last they can tell her exactly what is harming. If you want my body and you think I'm sexy, come on honey, let me know. If you really need me, just reach out and touch me. Come on sugar, tell me oh. His heart is beating like a drum, 'cause at last he's got this girl at home. Relax sugar, now we're all alone. They wake at dawn, 'cause all the birds are singing. Two total strangers, but that ain't what they're thinking. Outside it's cold, it's misty and it's raining. They got each other, so neither one's complaining. He says, I'm sorry, but I'm out of milk and coffee. Never mind sugar, we're gonna watch the early movie. If you want my body and you think I'm sexy, come on honey, let me know. If you really need me, just reach out and touch me. Come on sugar, tell me so. If you want, you think I'm sexy, come on honey, let me know. If you really need me, just reach out and touch me. Come on honey, tell me so. Alright, and that was To Another, paired with Do You Think I'm Sexy? And again, I was pretty confident that I knew all those lyrics. I blanked a little bit, jinxed myself there. But the good news is that my mom isn't going to change the locks, because if I had the lyrics memorized to that song, that might be a little alarming to her, so that's good, you know, everybody wins. But we're going to move on, and this next song is a very special one to me, because it was the first song that people that I wrote in Memphis, and people of my friends, I should say, were like, ooh, yeah, like I asked them for feedback, and they were, you know, they genuinely said this is really good. And you know, what if it were a duet and XYZ? And so my mom says, as far as I know, yeah, we'll see where we're at in November or December, because I came around close, so that's very true. Anyway, so this next song, I wrote it and came up with the idea for it. I was in my building where I was living at the time, and I could hear this person. So I was on the second floor, I believe. No, yeah, I was on the second floor, and I could hear this person screaming, or not screaming, but I could, you know, hear them talking, hear their conversation, down like on the first floor, even as I was going up to my car, which was sixth. And so something along those lines. I was going up to the sixth floor, and as I could hear somebody, you know, talking on their phone, having this full-on conversation. And so I thought, ooh, well, what if they're breaking up or whatever? And so that's the first line to this song. This is a song called I Never Loved You. And I also have a song called You Never Loved Me, which kind of gets at the same idea. But this is I Never Loved You. And this was inspired by Just a Feeling by Maroon 5. I won't dive into my full history with that song. I'll do that in a couple of weeks in the 200 Letters live stream. But for now, this is I Never Loved You and Just a Feeling. You walk down, press the button, going down to the first floor. I could still hear you screaming through the elevator doors. Left without reason other than leaving your fantasy, ignoring the fact that you ain't meant to be. Don't make me come out defending. Don't make yourself continue pretending. Now leave my heart so I can go mending. I'm mending, go mending. You knew what you got yourself into. Now the future is in the review, 'cause we can't repair. And you said I never loved you, never loved you, never loved you, never will. I never changed my mind since the day we left Seville. I tried to love you, trying to love you, trying to love you, but I'll never love you, never love you. That ship has sailed. What was that time? Were you not mine intent to see? Now just bring yourself to love me. Don't make me come out defending. Don't make yourself continue pretending. Now leave me so my heart can go on mending, on mending, on mending. You knew what you got yourself into is in the review, 'cause we can't repair, yeah. And you said, I never loved you, never loved you, never loved you, never will. I haven't changed my mind since the day we left Seville. I try to love you, trying to love you, trying to love you, but I failed. I'll never love you, never love you. That ship has sailed. So many questions will remain a mystery, and you do not seem to care at all. It ain't so easy to just get up and get over you. Can't fill the void when no one knew. And you said, I never loved you, never loved you, never loved you. Will I have changed my mind since the day we left Seville? I tried to love you, trying to love you, trying to love you, but I failed. I never love you, never love you. That ship has sailed. I never loved you, never loved you, never will. I have changed my mind since the day we left Seville. I tried to love you, trying to love you, trying to love you, but I failed. I'll never love you, never love you. That ship has sailed. I watched you cry, bathed in sunlight by the bathroom door. You said you wish you did not love me anymore. You left your flowers in the backseat of our the things we said and did have left permanent scars. Obsessed, depressed at the same time. I can't even walk in. I've been lying in the dark, no sunshine, no sunshine, no sunshine. She cries, this is more than goodbye. When I look into your eyes, you're not even there, yeah, yeah. It's just a feeling, just a feeling, just a feeling that I have. Just a feeling, just a feeling, just a feeling that I have. Just a feeling, just a feeling, just a feeling that I have. And I can't believe that it's over. You hit your low, you've lost control, you want me back. You may not believe me, but I gave you all I had. Undress, confess that you're still mine. I roll around in a bed full of tears, and I'm still lying in the dark. No sunshine, no sunshine, no sunshine. She cries, this is more than goodbye. When I look into your eyes, you're not even there, yeah, yeah. It's just a feeling, just a feeling, just a feeling that I have. Just a feeling, just a feeling, just a feeling that I have. Just a feeling, just a feeling, just a feeling that I have. And I can't believe that it's over. So much to say, it's not the way she does her hair, is the way she seems to stare right through my eyes. Oh, oh, oh. And in my darkest day, when she refused to run away, the love she tried so hard to save, It's just a feeling, just a feeling, just a feeling that I have. Just a feeling, just a feeling, just a feeling that I have. Just a feeling, just a just a feeling that I have. And I can't believe that it's over. It's just a feeling, just a feeling, just a feeling that I have. Just a feeling, just a feeling, just a feeling that I have. Just a feeling, just a feeling, just a feeling that I have. And I can't believe that it's over. No, I can't believe that it's over. No, I can't believe that it's over. All right, and that was I Never Loved You, paired with Just a Feeling by Maroon 5. Of course, the dental version of that song is Just a Filling. And that song was co-written by Levine, Mutt Lange, and Mutt Lange's neighbor. If that joke were any more inside, it would be agoraphobic, but look it up, and then you'll come back to the days and be like, that was a good joke. That was a very intelligent reference. Or comment below if you know what I'm talking about. So that song, it's interesting. So Just a Feeling was always my, one of my favorite tracks on Hands All Over. It's tough to say. It's a toss-up between that and Never Gonna Leave This Bed, which I'll talk about more in a couple of weeks. I've got a funny story about that. But I tried to write songs, multiple songs, in the vein of Just a Feeling, and it just didn't come out. And then I got my heart broken, and it still took about 1.5 years to figure it out. But that's what I channeled there in I Never Loved You. And I'll talk, like I said, a little bit more in a couple of weeks about Hands All Over and that influence, because that 10th anniversary is coming up. And I know you guys are all just super excited to celebrate that, as am I. But anyway, that was I Never Loved You. So next song that we've got, one of the more meaner things that I've done in a song, and you'll see what that is. But this was inspired by Take a Walk Outside by Lou Reed. And you'll see why that was appropriate, but really the reason why it came up is I was watching TV and I heard an ad, or saw an ad, I should say, that used Take a Walk on the Wild Side. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I think there might have been something in the commercial about the word fantasy, and it's just like, cool. That's where I want to take this song. I do, before I play this song, I just gotta tell a really funny story about it. So I was really like high on this song, and so I was telling people about it, and so I was talking to my friend Mike, and he is from Atlanta originally, but lives in Memphis and has for decent chunk of time. And so anyway, he's like familiar with cities in Georgia, right? So in this particular song, I refer to Decatur because that's how it looks to me. It looks like it's a French name of a city, and that's how it looks, right? So I'm talking to my friend Mike about this, and I said, yeah, I referenced the city of Decatur. And he just looks at me and exactly like this says to me, he goes, "Oh, you mean Decatur?" And it, like, to this day, that is like the most southern thing that I have ever experienced, other than, stereotypical stuff that we don't like. But that is just like that accent and the way that he said it. So now every time I drive by Decatur Avenue in Midtown, which is more often than I would care to admit, I just think, oh, look, it's Decatur. So that's one of those things. But I'm still going to pronounce it Decatur in this song, just so you know that's what I'm talking about, and so I can tell the story. So this is Fantasy, and also Walk on the Wild Side. About a year ago today, I drove out from the Georgia clay. Took a trip in the autumn breeze. Your mind changed faster than the leaves. When did you figure it went wrong? How did you think it would have gone when you said Minnesota boy? I was living a fantasy. Minnesota boy, I was living a fantasy. So I went back to the west of Tennessee. Thought it would be best. Tried to get you out of my head. Couldn't escape the words you said. Minnesota boy, I was living a fantasy. Minnesota boy, I was living a fantasy. Her fantasy was once mine too. When in Sevilla I got her through some of the worst pain she ever felt. I kept her up like a clothing belt. Yet still she says, Minnesota boy, I was living a fantasy. Minnesota boy, I was living a fantasy. One day as I passed through Decatur, thought I saw her, but I wasn't sure. As I drove closer on the street, saw her soliciting men as partners for sleep. She said, Minnesota boy, how'd you like to live that fantasy? I said, Georgia girl, you don't do a thing for me. Came from Miami, FLA, hitchhiked her way across the USA, plucked her eyebrows along the way, shaved her legs, and then he was a she. Hey honey, take a walk on the wild side. Hey babe, take a walk on the wild side. Candy came out from an island. In the back room she was everybody's darling, but she never lost her head even when she was giving head. Babe, take a walk on the wild side. Said, hey babe, take a walk on the wild side. And the girls go do 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 do. Little Joe never once gave it away. Everybody had to pay and pay. A hustle here and a hustle there. New York City is a place where they said, hey babe, take a walk on the wild side. I said, hey Joe, take a walk on the wild side. Sugar Plum Fairy came and hit the streets looking for soul food and a place to eat. Went to the Apollo, you should have seen him go, go, go. They said, hey sugar, take a walk on the wild side. I said, hey babe, take a walk on the wild side. Alright. Jackie is just speeding away, thought she was James Dean for a day, then I guess she had to crash. Valiant to help that back. She said, hey babe, take a walk on the wild side. I said, hey honey, take a walk on the wild side. And the girls say, do 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 Mr. Big Stuff, just who do you think you are, Mr. Big Stuff? You're never gonna get my love, Mr. Big Stuff. You're never gonna break my heart, Mr. Big Stuff. Who do you think you are? Do 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 do. Alright, and that was Fantasy, and I hope you enjoyed it. This next one that I'm going to do is a song called Sunday Morning Secret. As you guys saw, by the way, I played Walk on the Wild Side as well, and a little bit of Mr. Big Stuff as well. Written by Booker T. Jones, by the way. So that was that. So this next one that I'm going to play is a song called Sunday Morning Secret. And that actually is a song that was inspired by not a song in particular in terms of like thematically or anything like that, or even rhythmically, but in name only. So Maroon 5, their first album, Songs About Jane. Track 8 is a song called Sunday Morning, and track 9 is a song called Secret. And so it took me a while. I was looking at those titles one day, and I was like, what if those two were combined into a title? And so this is Sunday Morning Secret, and I hope you enjoy it. You got a Sunday morning secret, you're looking like a Sunday morning secret. You feel so guilty it hurts. The preacher wants to know why you are screaming there in that pew. The preacher wants to know why you are screaming there in that pew. Your hair is messy, you got something on I've never seen you wear before. You're sleeping with somebody new, you can't deny, you can't ignore. You're red when someone asks if you're feeling blue after last night with him. You got a Sunday morning secret, and your time of reckoning is drawing in. You got a Sunday morning secret, a shotgun wedding in May, to cover what you've done and not cause your family disgrace. You know when your secret gets out, it'll come out all over town. It'll be so bad that you and him will not be able to stick around. You got a Sunday morning secret. You got a Sunday morning secret. You got a Sunday morning secret. All right, and that was Sunday Morning Secret, an original song. One Lou Reed joke that I forgot to tell with that last song too, by the way, not Sunday Morning Secret, but Fantasy, is that the Walk on the Wild Side is from his album called Transformer, and it's funny because that's, all about transforming. So to quote the great Murray, Transformer. I barely even know her. So that is that. In case you guys haven't caught on, this is the Somewhere Else live stream. And you would have no way of knowing that without me telling you. But in terms of catching on to the theme, so typically I name albums after two things: line of best fit, and then also lines in various songs. This one, though, I already had everything written, or at least most of the tracks, and so I was ready to move on, and I didn't want to leave the album title blank, so I just thought of quick and thought Somewhere Else. And it fit because all of the songs on this album are about somebody wanting to be somewhere else. And it's just a really interesting thing. And I read a quote the other day that said something to the effect of, until you realize that happiness, and then you'll always be seeking validation from somewhere else, or you'll always be seeking happiness from somewhere else. And I just thought that was a really cool quote, timely quote. And it was one of those, the person in question who, every song on here except for this next one that I'm going to play is about her. One of the things when we were kind of breaking apart was she was about to apply and eventually be accepted for this volunteer program in Costa Rica, which sounded amazing. But with the way that we had been going, it felt like that would be kind of a discussion that, like, hey, maybe we'd go together, maybe, whatever. And she just completely left me out of those talks. And so that was a really hard thing for me. And again, it, didn't feel like a matter of like, oh, I deserve this or that or whatever. It was just like, hey, we've been going at a pretty good pace, and, it kind of hurt me that, like, she didn't even tell me until late in the game, so I couldn't even really, help her or be happy for her or whatever. We couldn't really talk about it, and so that really bothered me. It's just kind of the idea that, like, you can run all you want to, you can go wherever you want, but that's still something really terrible that you did, and to a large extent you're still going to be the same person, and so that's kind of what this album was about, that you can try to go somewhere else, but you're still going to be that person at the end of the day, no matter what disguise you try to put on. But this next song was actually written about somebody else, somebody that I knew in that lived in the first apartment complex that I lived in, and I just saw her going out at some point. I just happened to look out my window, and she was going out and really, dressed up and all of that, and I mean, looked fabulous. But it was one of those things that, like, she didn't need to, go to those extreme lengths to look that good, and because she just did naturally. And so that's what about this is a song called Excess, or Excess, if you want to put it that way. But this is Excess, or Excess, and I hope you enjoy it. Saturday night, you said you were busy, so I made other plans. Saw you walking out of the building, dressed up like you were gonna meet another man. The red dress you were wearing, not much lipstick sparing, and I wondered who you had to impress. You look look so good with so much excess. You look so stunning, I don't know why you're running with a man who don't appreciate the beauty you possess. A man who truly loves you ain't gonna need to with so much excess. I ain't talking about hanging out at my place and saying there a couple now, but I'll take you as you are. I'll take you with all your scars, and I'll show you off all over town. Yeah, I'll tell you you're beautiful even when you feel like you are such a mess. Yeah, I'll be the man who truly loves you, and I don't need to see you with so much excess. You look so stunning, I don't know why you're running with a man who don't appreciate the beauty you possess. A man who truly loves you ain't gonna need to see you with so much excess. Yeah, you look so stunning, I don't know why you're running with a man who don't appreciate the beauty you possess. A man who truly loves you ain't gonna need to see you with so much excess. With so much excess. Alright, and that was Excess off of Somewhere Else, which we are celebrating, spotlighting tonight. And that is that. I got a couple more for you, about 3 actually, so I should have said a few more. Yeah. I just wanted to point out too, just really quick, that these, I have about 12 songs on this record, and my mom, when we were talking the other night, she said, yeah, I noticed you delayed your live stream, and she goes, I thought you were done, and I'm like, no, I got a lot more music to share with you guys, but hopefully all of that won't be necessary. I mean, none of it is completely necessary, but, in terms of me quarantining and whatever, that's just one of those things. But this next song was actually inspired by a local song, sung by a local artist, Amber Ray Dunn, and she has this song that's called "Long Way to Austin," and basically, the whole thing came about because the guy she was living with at the time, his name was Austin, and he said, hey, I bet you can write a song with my name in it. And so she whipped this song together, Long Way to Austin, and it turned out to be really, really cool. And I, for the past 10 years or so, I've had kind of an obsession with writing songs that have the word road in it, or have a city's name in it, or something along those lines. And so I was like, I want to write my own song that's kind of like Long Way to Austin, but it mentions different cities. And so I came up with this song. And the thing that always makes me laugh about this song, which is good because it's not a cheery song, but that's why it makes me laugh. So a couple of my students a few years ago had a tennis match, waiting to play, and one of them just like yells out and he goes, "Mr. Millenhouse," and he goes, "This is my jam, this is my warm-up song," and it was this song. And I'm thinking, okay, it's a good song, I appreciate that, but like if you're warming up to this song, then like you clearly do not have your mojo working. And so this is My Heart Lies and Long Way to Austin. I hope you enjoy both of them. My heart lies in Barcelona, in the blueprints of that church. While their progress gets better, I am only getting worse. Pretty soon they'll finish and I'll still be working on myself for a streetcar named Desire. And always hit me like no one else. When that cathedral finished construction, we talked about our return. We never thought in that time we would watch our bridges burn. Now Barcelona waits for you. My heart lies in Sevilla, in that plaza by the trees. It ain't easy to go there without falling to my knees. I can't go there without crying. My eyes hurt and need a break. Now Sevilla waits for you. While I wonder how much more I can take. Yeah, I can walk across that bridge. It'll lead me to your house. I can go to that theater from the first time we went out. Now Sevilla waits for you. My heart lies in Cordoba, in that bus from that trip. You fell asleep on my shoulder. I didn't want to lose my grip. My heart lies in Spanish cities around everything we've done. My heart lies to convince me that you're still the one. It's a long way to Austin, in my heart and in my mind. And it's a long way to Austin, though I go there all the time. And on that long road to Austin, as I start to lose my way, I just close my eyes and think of your lips to mine. And I pray that you're holding on to the word. Pray that I haven't lost you yet to her. Have I lost you yet to her? It's a long way to Austin, though these wheels keep moving slow. It's a long way to Austin, from a place that I call home. And on that long road to Austin, as I start to lose my way, I just close my eyes and think of your lips to mine. And I pray that you made it there and you're rolling on. I pray that I haven't lost you yet too. Have I lost you yet to her? It's a long way to Austin, in my heart and in my mind. And it's a long way to Austin, though I go there all the time. And on that long road to Austin, as I start to lose my way, I just close my eyes and think of your lips to mine. And I pray, I just close my eyes and think of your lips to mine. And I pray. Alright, and that was My Heart Lies and Long Way to Austin. I love that Long Way to Austin song. That was, I had heard other Amber Ray Dunn songs before that, but as soon as I heard that, I was like, this is it. Like, this is her best song. And she's, you know, outdone herself in certain ways as well, but I just have a soft spot for that song. And then My Heart Lies, there's actually a funny line in that song that, like, it's dark but funny, and that's kind of the whole theme of this record. So in that first verse, it says, you're a streetcar named Desire and always hit me like nobody else. For those of you who don't know, the cathedral that I'm referring to is La Sagrada Familia, which they've been working on since 1878, I want to say. It started off with one architect whose name I can't remember. A couple of years later, in 1880, Antoni Gaudí took over, and some of his blueprints, let me back up. So he took over, and he was working, and then in, 1926, I want to say it was, some of those just, like, got delayed because he got hit by a streetcar. He wandered out in the middle of the road in the middle of the night, and this streetcar hit him and killed him, and it was, that was the end of him. And so then people were scrambling to figure out, okay, what are we going to do? How do we interpret these just ornate plans? And then the Civil War happened, Spanish Civil War, and some more of the plans were destroyed, so it was just nuts. But on the surface, that just looks like a reference. And so I cleverly disguised that so that I could have that little line in there to make me laugh, even though it's a very dark joke. But the as I said, this person and I knew each other from studying abroad in Spain. And we never went to Barcelona together. I went there with my parents. So luckily, that hasn't been ruined for me. But she and I did talk about going back to Barcelona as they finished the cathedral. And then just all of a sudden we had this falling out, and those plans changed. So that's just one of those things. I studied in Sevilla, and there was the first time that this person and I hung out. We were actually going to be touring like churches or something, just like going around. That was the initial plan. But we got lost and found this plaza called Alameda de Hercules, that had all of these trees, and these dancers were dancing, and they were, face painting butterflies and all of that on people with their permission. But this person got one, and so then my name, like nickname, pet name, whatever you want to say, for her was mariposa, because that means butterfly in Spanish. And so it was one of those things that that place meant a lot. The theater where we went on Valentine's Day to see a movie, there was that, and then I had to cross a bridge to get, and so that was that. And then in the third verse, I said, well, my heart lies in Cordoba. So there was a city called Cordoba, technically, is how it's pronounced, and we went there on a bus trip, all the study abroad students, and the two of us bonded over music, and I managed to sneak in the Edwin McCain song "I'll Be," and say, "Oh, this is a great song." And again, luckily it hasn't been ruined for me. But anyway, and so, it was kind of late night bus trip, and she fell asleep on my shoulder, and I was just, yeah, I'll let this happen. That's cool. And so that was one of those things. And that was the first time that we had really talked and bonded and all of that. And so, yeah, there was that. And then I realized that my heart lies. It could lie in another way. Not physically, but conceptually. And so that is that. I guess you could argue that Tony Bennett's heart doesn't really lie in San Francisco. Doesn't, he didn't really leave his heart there. But anyway, so that is that. And this last song that I'm going to play for you is one that was inspired by Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatters by Elton John, and technically Bernie Taupin too, if you want to go there. He wrote the lyrics. I actually read that he wrote it after he heard a gunshot in New York in his hotel. Not in his hotel, but from his hotel. He heard a gunshot and did that. But this is just kind of coming to grips with the fact that, like, hey, we're never going to be the same again. And this is a song called Permanently Scarred. And I'm going to do it as a medley with Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatters by Elton John. And that will close things out. Now I know you can be trusted, November, July very well. There was hope, there was laughter. Now what once was good is reaching hell. so broken, tried to mend them. I reached out, made an addendum, left the door open to talk when times were hard. But for now I cannot see a future with you and me. So despite my efforts, we're permanently scarred. Guess what? When you came to Memphis, wasn't something you wanted to keep after all. Said you tried, said goodbye after that weekend. Who would have known we were born to fall? When things so broken, tried to mend them. I reached out, made an addendum, left the door open to talk when times were hard. But for now I cannot see a future with you and me. So despite my efforts, we're permanently scarred. Now I know the word forever ain't worth a damn when a damn ain't something ever given by you. Maybe one day I'll get an invite to your wedding, but that's something I just can't see through. With things so broken, tried to mend them. I reached out, made an addendum, left the door open to talk when times were hard. But for now I cannot see a future with you and me. So despite my efforts, we're permanently scarred. Yeah, despite my efforts, we're permanently scarred. And now I know Spanish Harlem are just pretty words to say. I thought I knew, but now I know that rose trees never grow in New York City. Until you've seen the trash can dream come true. You stand with the edge while people run you through. And I thank the Lord there's people out there like you. I thank the Lord there's people out there like you. While Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatter's sons of bankers, sons of lawyers turn around and say good morning to the night. For unless they see the sky, but they can't, and that is why they know not if it's dark outside or light. This Broadway it's got a lot of songs to sing. If I knew the tunes, I might join in. I'll go my way alone, grow my own seeds in New York City. Subway's no way for a good man to go down. Rich man can ride in the hobo he can now. And I thank the Lord for the people I have found. I thank the Lord for the people I have found. While Lisa, sons of bankers, sons of lawyers, turn around and say good morning to the night. For unless they see the sky, but they can't, and that is why they know not if it's dark outside or light. And now I know Spanish are not just pretty words to say. I thought I knew, but now I know that rose trees never grow in New York City. Subway's no way for a good man to go down. Rich man can ride in the hobo, he can't drown. I thought for the people I have found. I thank the Lord for the people I have found. While Mona Lisas and Mad Hatters, sons of bankers, sons of lawyers, turn around and say good morning to the night. For unless they see the sky, but they can't, and that is why they know not if it's dark outside or light. They know not if it's dark outside or light. Alright, and that was Permanently Scarred, paired with Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatters. I actually first heard that song. My dad made a mix for my mom a handful of years ago called Chicks, and that was on there. My mom affectionately refers to the album as Guys Think Chicks Dig This. And that was one of the new songs that I discovered on that mix, and just really liked it. And when I hear a song I like, it kind of seeps into my subconscious, and it eventually affects my songwriting. So I felt that Permanently Scarred was a really good way to end the album. Not necessarily a cheery way. I felt like that was a really good way to end the record. Kind of that whole concept of like you're searching for somewhere else, somewhere better, and the people you left behind are permanently scarred as a result of that. So that's just that. I'm trying to think if I think we do get a little bit more cheery next week. The live stream that I was going to do this week, I'm going to do it next week, so that'll be the Turn Up the Eagles live stream. And that will be next Saturday, so good news or bad news, depending on your perspective. You only have to wait 5 days, and today's almost over, to hear me again, and that's a good thing. So be sure to look out for that invite and all of that, the playlist that goes with this one. And like I said, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I think I said that. And I will see you guys on Saturday for the Turn Up the Eagles live stream. Thank you so much.